one of the things that he made clear was the case for the close relationship between Israel and the United States, how many presidents have worked with Israel in the past, how even Obama had worked with Israel, to this point, dealing with challenges that they've had. Some things he said will never be told because of the nature of the sensitive nature of those things, but he knows, and he wanted to express that appreciation to Obama. So he set the stage with gratitude for what the United States and the other presidents and in the person of Obama have done to support Israel. And then he goes into the deal that the administration is negotiating with Iran over weapons inspections, nuclear proliferation, that sort of thing. And he says Iran must stop these three things: aggression against its neighbors, supporting terrorism in the world, and threatening to annihilate Israel. He made the case that the current schedule under this current agreement that the White House is pushing will only enable Iran to actually obtain nuclear weapons. And he made the connection from the Clinton years with North Korea and the sort of actions that we took then as a nation that eventually led to North Korea becoming nuclear as well. And so he drew those parallels, and then he started talking about the difference between that the administration has been trying to make between Iran and ISIS, saying that Iranian forces were attempting to deal with ISIS in Tikrit. And the problem with this is that just because they're fighting each other does not mean that one or the other would be allies for us. He actually stated the enemy of my enemy is my enemy in this case. And so he was explaining that in terms of I guess an Arab saying that goes back a long time: the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and contradicting that and putting in another framework. He gave this beautiful, powerful speech and really laid out the case for scrapping this deal, for going back to the drawing board, for not giving Iran the things that the Obama administration is keen to give them, apparently. And then the mainstream media, as this speech is happening, reporters are getting snippy and nasty. David Axelrod actually himself was leading this as well, sort of poo-pooing the whole thing, saying it was not a plan. A lot of reporters were tweeting out that they wanted to see a plan, that here's all Netanyahu is doing is criticizing instead of offering a solution. And then the White House had been hyperventilating about Netanyahu speaking because he was going to reveal sensitive information. And Netanyahu met that head on by saying, everything I'm telling you, you can find on Google. It's there.
It's kind of amazing how unifying this was. I mean, in this short amount of time, in a time when the Republican Party has been fractured after CPAC and all of the speeches from all the people, everybody seemed to get together behind Netanyahu. I thought that was a pretty cool kumbaya moment to find.
Here was Sally Cohn today, her usual spectacular fail of a self. She said, hey, remember when our foreign policy was based on reacting to actual attacks, not just potential perceived threats? Yeah, that. And Twitter was like, are you kidding me?
I don't even know what to say to that. I'm speechless.
I mean, there's no problem in the Middle East. What are you guys talking about?
It's perfectly normal for people's heads to just fly off of their shoulders on their own and, be thrown off of buildings because they live a certain lifestyle and be kidnapped because you're women and Christians and all that stuff. I mean, come on.
Doesn't matter that Iran has built up a huge presence in 4 Middle East capitals, and is doing a lot to be involved in the region where we're kind of not sure what we want to do. We're kind of we do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's kind of like, well, I won't get into it, but it's just we have it's ironic that Obama would talk about people not having solutions and not having a plan, because it's kind of reflective of his actual Middle East policy, which is to not have a plan and to have no solutions, and to kind of just like poke it and make it worse.
Well, and it's like he's proud of the fact that he doesn't have a plan. And he's just kind of letting it go, and, oh, well, we'll just see what happens. It's not really a big deal for the U.S. It's over on the other side of the world.
And here's Nancy Pelosi today. Now this got Lindsey Graham in trouble later for his reaction to it. But she said, I was near tears throughout the Prime Minister's speech, saddened by the insult to the intelligence of the United States. This is a group of people who are refusing to address reality, and their greatest, the greatest single threat to mankind in all of this planet is global warming. That's what these people are seeing, which plenty of people on Twitter pointed out that Israel would be quite warm after a nuclear attack on it, and that would really mess up the ecology, yes, of that Middle East, based on there'd be a whole lot of warming going on right there. So yeah, but this is what the administration thinks is serious. They demonize Republicans, and they talk about global warming as though it's Armageddon. And here is Armageddon on the doorstep in just a few years, based on the numbers that Netanyahu gave of how fast Iran is actually working towards this, and how many resources they have devoted to it. But, oh my gosh, we'd better get that Delta River smelt saved in California. We'd better watch out for those polar bears, because reasons, I don't know.
We need to fight the impulse to just directly go into primary all of the things, but we do need to make sure that we focus our efforts on a couple of targets, and we can do that. That's not, I mean, we shouldn't be shotgunning these guys. We should make sure we know who it is that we want to target, and we need to get them out of office. It's not rocket science. It's something that we can do.